And the number one thing that happens is that people will practice at home when they're not so stressed, and their heart will be pounding at a normal rate. But the heart is the drummer. We follow that beat. And when they get on stage, their heart speeds up, so they speed up. So all of a sudden their heart's going really fast because they're nervous because they're on stage. And so now they're talking fast because the heart's going fast and they're keeping up with, right? So it goes downhill really fast. And I'll tell you why that's important, because I read a study that was done years ago, and they took someone and they dressed him up the exact same. He memorized the talk so he could deliver it perfectly the same way every time. And then they had him give it to several scientifically similar audiences. And sometimes he would give it really fast, like he'd keep up with the heart and nervous and he'd going fast, and he'd go zoom through the whole thing and go fast. And then the other times he would pause and he would go basically conversational speed, and he would leave time for things to land and let his audience consider what he had just said for a second. And then they had the audiences rate the speaker on a bunch of different things. And when you compared them, it was really stark, because when he was going fast, saying the same thing, dressed the same, everything as much the same as they could get it, only thing that changed was speed. It was like trying to pull the wool over my eyes, not trustworthy, doesn't know what he's talking about, and low status. When he talked slowly, conversational speed, and let things land and paused, expert in his field, trustworthy, knew what he was talking about, and high status. So that's pretty clear. You don't want to go too fast, because it will dramatically tarnish your credibility and your perceived status. So practicing beforehand, and maybe even going a little extra slow in your practice, just so that you can get the feeling of going a little bit slow compared to your heart rate, is a really good idea. And the goal for when you're on stage is to go exactly conversational speed, or like a fraction faster, but not anything faster than that. Conversational speed is the key, and letting people process things. And I remember when I was working with my dad, who was really good at this stuff, he was an attorney, and he was super helpful to me in my younger days with this. I would get going really fast when I was practicing a speech for him, and he'd say, "Slow down, son. I can't listen that fast." And he was not a dummy. He was just really clear that I needed to slow down so that everybody could process what I was saying.